Hi everyone, I'm going to go through playlist 2 real quick for you and also try to go through a couple more expectations when it comes to the playlist as well. So by the time you're done with this video, you should basically know what you're supposed to be doing for the week and know my expectations for you for each day of the week. First thing, hopefully you already found this because you're able to watch the video, but this week is playlist 2 because last week was playlist 1. Um, and I want to know when I'm making these videos, sometimes you'll see multiple playlists or you'll see a few different things, and you might say to yourself, how come I don't have that? It's because depending on where you're at, you might have been assigned something and they didn't, or somebody else didn't, or vice versa. Somebody was assigned something that you weren't. For example, there's 2 playlists right now in this class, for this week at least. You should only have 1 playlist though, because you are working, or like there's 2 groups working. One's working on 1 playlist and one's working on another. So this is going to be playlist 2. And once you click on your playlist, when it says playlist 2, it should come up. And this is your playlist for the week. A couple of things are the same that you'll notice from last week when we went over this. You're always going to have the must-dos, the may-dos, and the goals section. And so this week your goals are, I can look at a text and know something about it, and then I will know the morphemes for this week. So on Monday, today, you guys are going to, oh, and another thing to note underneath the must-dos, the only day that we will be together as a whole class will be on Wednesday. When it says whole class, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'll be up in front of the class lecturing you the whole time. It just basically means that I'm going to be guiding the lesson for that day to make sure everybody gets the information that they need and everybody's on the same page with that skill or with that practice. And so that's what that means. Monday, you're going to be working on this by yourself. You hopefully already took the M&M bell work form that's on Google Classroom. If you haven't, it's underneath general information all the time. Important Google form links, mindful and metacognitive Google form. That's where you find that. The vocabulary tracker is then what I want you to do for the rest of the hour. And some of you might finish before the end of the hour, and that's really fine. Some of you might take a little bit longer. And so you just know that if you didn't finish it, that's where you start on for the next day. So basically, the vocabulary tracker, like I said, is on Google Classroom, general information, and it looks like this. It's basically underneath morpheme and vocabulary tracker. So we're looking at the vocab tracker. It looks like this. You will be given a set of vocab each week to go over and put in this tracker so that you guys have that. And so the words for this week, vocabulary words are right here. You're going to click on this. It'll come up. You'll see, and you can go through the slide and you'll put the word, the definition. You'll use it in a sentence, and you can Google the sentence, or if you want to use your social studies book because they're the exact same words, just because you do need to learn how to do your vocabulary in social studies, and vocab goes hand in hand with ELA. Instead of giving you a whole new set of words, I just decided to use the same set for at least week 1 with you guys so that you can get started correctly in social studies and ELA with the vocab. But regardless, the page number for where this word is in the social studies textbook is located here. So if you wanted to look up the sentence that's used there, then you could definitely do that. And then if you find a picture that represents what the word is or means, then you can put that there. And you're going to do that for every term that's on that presentation. Next, so that's going to be Monday. Next is on Tuesday is going to be the Morphemes Tracker. So based off of the words that you get for the week, you will be able to pull out certain morphemes, which are like prefixes, roots, and suffixes that are found, that are common and found in words. The morphemes lesson is right here, and I've linked it, and it's an Ed puzzle which if you go to it, it basically comes up. Let's see if it'll do it for me. So it'll look like this. It should take you to it. You just log in with Google, and then it will be a video, but the video has questions. So as you go through, it'll be prompting you and asking you questions. It will also prompt you and ask you or tell you notes that you need to know for it. So you're going to go through that video and answer those questions. And along with that, some of the prompting notes are to make sure to include those morphemes in your tracker. So the Morphemes Tracker is in the same place the vocab tracker is, but it looks like this. Looks like this, or looks like this. Basically, you have to put it in the section that that it belongs in. So if it's a prefix, you put it in the prefix box or section. If it's a root, you put it in the root section or box, suffix, and so on. But for each of them, you're going to write the actual the actual morpheme. You're going to put the definition, and then you're going to put the examples. In the lesson, there's built-in examples. So just put the words that as you go along and see them, you put them in there. The more examples, the better. So that is going to be what you need to do for sure on Tuesday. When you're done, or if you get done, and you're ahead of the game, there are two things linked here. You can review the vocab for the week, or you can review the morphemes. I know the vocabulary you'll be tested on for social studies, but I also know that in this class, at least for this first set, you will be tested on the morphemes, not the vocabulary. So if you're trying to divide your time between those two, basically that's why those are important. So I linked both of them there. So if you get done with everything and you still have some time at the end of Tuesday, then go on there and practice and study. Wednesday, we're going to be all together. You guys are going to answer the question, what is the world's biggest problem? And I'll be explaining kind of how we're going to go about and do that, or why I'm inquiring about this question and want to know your opinion. You guys are going to actually answer that question here, and it's linked also up here, but it's just on the next slide of your playlist so that it's all together. And then we are going to be, as a class, reading this Newsella article that's on the coronavirus. We're going to be practicing the strategy called Thieves, and so I linked it there for you guys. That is the Thieves model goes directly and ties directly into our first goal, so that you can actually use the Thieves acronym and pick out information from the text before you even start reading. I do want you guys to also fill out a document as you go along to keep for your notes. And I told you guys right here, Google Doc is posted on Google Classroom Playlist 2. If you go back to Playlist 2, you'll see the Thieves Reading Strategy table. So this is the document that I'm talking about that we're going to be working on. Then on Thursday, we're going to be in the library. So make sure you guys go to the library first thing. Friday is going to be because we have our library book, you guys are going to read for the first 7 minutes, and just remember that you should use this time because you're going to be required to turn in some sort of a book report or project on a book every 6 weeks. And so 7 minutes of reading is how we will start, and then you guys will actually be in a small group with me. And so when I ask you guys, or when everybody gets started, I will be pulling you guys to read the Newsella article, like actually read it with me, and then we'll go through and annotate it and take the quiz and do the writing prompt together. So just so you know, that's kind of the rundown for what we're going to do this week. The may-dos are vocabulary.com this week and Quizlet, but you can also go back and practice your morpheme or your vocabulary there. And if you really want to, if you get done on Friday and we get done early and you have done everything and you've checked everything off, which is important to note, you can actually go through here and you can actually put a check mark so I know what you've done and what you haven't done if I needed to check in with you guys. But if you get done with everything and everything's checked off for the week, then you could actually just read your book. and use the extra minutes to get a little bit further ahead in your library book so that you can hopefully finish the book sooner rather than later. So this is your playlist for the week. Let me know if you guys have any questions. If you do have questions, do not hesitate to ask. In fact, right after you're done with the video, I want you to ask questions if you need help with something, because essentially I'm going to let you guys go for the week. And if you don't ask and you don't understand something, then you're not going to do it correctly and you're not going to be able to complete your playlist. So please, please, please ask if you have questions. I'll be around to help you, so just raise your hand. And good luck.